Alright, so we're back in the project to the VAIW. This is the oil that came out of the transmission and the differential. Luckily there was no water in it, but it is super thick oil.
Sir, your blizzard is ready. I have done the impossible. I got the hub off of this side. Didn't get a video of it because me and a couple buddies were up just messing around on it for a little bit. Didn't think it was that important. Didn't think it was actually going to come off. But a bunch of penetrating fluid, some heat, and just tapping on the back of it. Well, tapping on the back of it. It came off, and I'm very surprised. It wasn't easy. It took probably, I don't know, half an hour, but it's off. Set it over here. There she is. Yeah, it's off, so we're gonna try to get the other side off now. I already have one heat cycle into it and had some penetrating fluid on it. We'll see if we can get it off tonight or not.
So at this point we needed to address our broken steering column and our bent steering shaft. So I was doing some measurements and doing some research to see if these ones off of DC would fit.
Alright, so this is a Case DC3 that my brother bought at an auction about a year ago. It's also on the channel. We did notice that the VAIW and the DC steering column are about as close as we're going to get. So we will have to, weld something on the side for the throttle linkage to attach to. But other than that, the flange appears to be the same down there. So we're going to take this one off and see if it fits. So right here we have a 1956 Case VAI. We're probably going to take the motor out of this. We bought this basically as a parts tractor. Transmission stuck, engine stuck, everything's stuck. We're probably going to pull the motor out of this to put it in the VAIW. So we're going to get started on taking this motor out. Well, took the rocker cover off, just, see what's going on inside. That one moves, that one doesn't, that one doesn't. I'll skip that one for now. That one moves, that one doesn't. Moves a little bit, that one doesn't. So that one's supposed to be compressed right there. The valve is stuck open. That's less than ideal. If it's bent, that'll make sense. This rust is stuck in the lifter, so that's better. Straight for the most part. Press, won't turn. Rusted, rusted. Pretty straight. 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 Compressed. So I don't like that very much. Yeah. So we're taking this oil pan off this VAC motor, or VAI motor actually. As I'm taking it off, I notice it's kind of, rusted out a little bit. And I take it off, and I had to put it back on just for the reveal. That's not good.
So we tore down this whole engine, didn't get a whole lot of good out of it. The crankshaft was already worn 40 thou and wasn't worth getting remachined or polished or anything. And none of the other engine internals are really worth saving after looking at all the wear they had on them. So that engine's going on the longboat to China.
So you might have noticed how terrible the input shaft for that transmission was. So this was the front half. The back half was fine. This was less than ideal. Wouldn't want to try to get bearings on that or get the shaft to slide on there. But I had a spare VAC laying around. It was a parts tractor. So I took and cut the front half off of that. Couldn't use the whole thing because this shaft for the normal VAC is much longer. It's, I forget, like 12 inches or something longer. So cut them off. Got a piece of tubing off the internet. It was the right size. And ended up, we're about to weld it. Got them all turned up, cleaned up. Put in the lathe to make sure it was nice and true. It's for about 10 thousandths. It's not this perfect, but so there's the shaft now. This is the VAC front half, VAIW rear half. I'm not sure what this gear is here. I think it's an oil flinger, but I haven't looked that far into it yet. But the other one has a gear here where the belt pulley would go on. So we used the correct rear half, not correct front half because the front half's the same. So we're going to take that, weld that all up around. We might even drill this and plug weld it in the center where the two halves meet. Just make sure it's nice and strong. Yeah, but I'll let you know when that's done, and we'll get back to putting this thing together. Alright, so we're going to take a little bit of time here and do some reassembly-ish. So we're going to put the torque tube back on, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe get the motor attached to it, get the front axle put on it, take it outside, and do the pressure washing with the sand in it. See if we can't get all this grunge and grime and stuff off. So we're going to tap some holes here, just get that done and out of the way. So this is a 5/8 11 tap. Already tapped a couple of them. Now I got some more to tap, so we're going to get on that. And I'll get back to it. Alright, so we're going to make some gaskets here for this VAIW. Start by unrolling it. And it's cut there already. Do. There. Move the edge. Drop the die. And here's that. Get a ball peen hammer. Find about where your holes are supposed to be. Take, cut them out using a ball peen hammer. Like that. Then what I do, take your bolt through that hole and make sure it's nice and lined up. You'll find your next one. And just go from there. about to do something monumental on this project. We're going to start putting it back together. Sounds pretty weird, don't it? Sorry about that. The camera shut off. Seems like halfway through putting that motor in. You didn't miss much, just it didn't go very well. Other than that, we got it bolted in. Got the front axle rolled in underneath it. We're gonna try to put that on. I'll get back to you once that's on. And we did realize something after getting it all in here. The steering is on the wrong side. We knew it was the wrong axle, but it looked like somebody put a lot of time and effort into it, being it's got the front nose piece for the VAC already bolted on. So we figured, oh yeah, they must have just robbed the motor out of it at the parts yard, but the more we're looking at it, I don't think they ever had this thing together and running, because the steering linkage is on the wrong side and it goes this way. So there should be a ball with a pin on it that goes in this hole, but that's supposed to be on this side and connect to this hole here. Parts over there, but alright, we got a whole lot done last night after my phone shut off and quit filming, but we get the engine on. We got the torque tube on, got the engine on, got the front axle on, we got the back tires and hubs and that whole assembly on. Now I get to take these back off again and do the brake seals, if they're the right ones. We're going to find out. So yeah, at least we got a rolling unit now. After that, we're going to make some more gaskets, probably this one, back PTO block off plate one, and then we'll go from there. Talking to Dad, I'm not sure about power steering on this. He doesn't seem to think it's a good idea. He thinks we should just make a new axle for it. I kind of like the look of the one that's on it now, although it is wrong. But we have VAI axle. We might be able to steal the correct kingpins and knuckle assembly off of. And looking at the book, it shouldn't be too hard to make a whole new assembly for it. I wish there was somewhere flat to set this. Toolbox. Let me find it. So there's the one picture of it, what it's supposed to look like, and then further along there's a parts breakdown. And here's the parts breakdown. So if we can get these parts off that VAI, if they're sort of the same-ish, we should be able to modify those along with these pieces and these pieces. We should be able to make this, because this is just, you know, bar stock, bent and welded. Source a leaf spring that's correct, or close enough, because probably don't make the correct ones anymore, or they're super expensive. So we'll get one that's, you know, within the budget and usable, being we're already modifying the front end anyway. Or we make this one a power steering one, but you'd have to put an orbital valve somewhere in here-ish. This does not have hydraulics, so we could put a hydraulic pump in there off of that VAC, a hydraulic pump in there for the power steering, and just run it up and have that be a cylinder and attach the back of it somewhere in this general vicinity. I don't know, we'll see what we come across, what we can figure up here. But yeah, we're going to do some brake seals. Just get that done and out of the way. And make some other gaskets.
Well, I told myself I wouldn't buy another one this year, but Facebook Marketplace really got me on that one. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Case VAIW Part 2. And just remember, if your hands are clean at the end of the day, you're probably not farming with junk.